Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. We're back and it is with unfortunate news that we do not have a chapter to talk about because, there's just been a lot going on. We've been sick.
Brad dragged us in a rabbit hole.
Well, that we've been sick. We've gotten the
Oh
kids
yeah.
dedicated.
Yes, yes.
What else? There's more gardening.
Yes.
So, yeah, there's a ton going on.
Life.
Yeah, that's what we like to call it.
Life.
So do you want to choose something to talk about first, or do you kind of want to talk about maybe start off with the boys' dedication and how that
Oh
was?
yeah.
And
So what was it? A week ago, 2 weeks ago? Whatever. A few weeks ago. We ended up getting Ace and Kate dedicated. Now if you're not familiar with that is, it's our version, I guess. I know in Catholic background, I want to say they do baby baptism, which for us in our what do you call, I don't know, it's not religious, but what we believe is that
Mhm.
baptism is for those who are aware of what they're choosing to do. So they are, choosing to follow Jesus. They're choosing salvation. So uh, our version of that is basically the parents and the families are making a commitment to God and to the children that we are going to raise them according to biblical principles and doing our best, not being perfect, but trying our best to raise them in the way they should go. There's a Bible verse in there. I don't know what Bible verse that is, though. But so yeah, we did that. We never were able to do it with Ace because Ace is our literal pandemic baby. We had him in the middle of the pandemic in 2020. Um, and then we just never were able to get him dedicated again, just with all the COVID stuff and all that, and whatever you want to call it. And then surprise, Cade came. That would be a podcast for a different time because it was literally a surprise. Don't get me wrong, we know how babies are made, but if you know the history of how we got Ace, you know that this was a surprise because he literally came naturally. So I wanted to make sure it was like a very big thing for me and for Brad, more so me because I'm a people person and all that. I really wanted to get plugged in back to a church and go through the process. I wanted the boys to be a part of that, be a part of a church group and be a part of a church, and I want to raise them, in that environment. So yeah, we got them dedicated. Um, Both of our parents came up, my sister came up, and it was a beautiful time. Ace was hilarious. And side note, like out of all the dedications and all whatever, there was a literal another family right next to us that has the same name. Their son was smaller. He was a baby.
He was younger, yeah.
His name was Ace. Like, seriously? Out of all the names, Ace? And even the lady that was there, that's Bubba. He's having some attention separation issues. But even the lady was there that was running it. She's like, I've never had an Ace ever. And now I have two at the same time. I'm like, which is lucky enough. But so yeah, it was beautiful. It was a good time. Went to have lunch afterwards. And we just made it we're trying to make it a point, to go to church every weekend, unless, like, I think last weekend we were able to go because obviously we were sick. The boys are sick. But we're all better now. So yeah,
Hmm.
that was cool. It was a beautiful moment. Ace loves going to church now. He's at an age where he kind of is getting into like that structure, like routine. So he knows Sundays wake up, we have breakfast, and we go to church. He goes all for him. It's toys. That's what he cares. Um, but it's just so cool to see. He's so chill. There's a really sweet volunteer there, um, who just loves on Cade and holds him and cuddles him, and we couldn't ask for anything better. And the teachers that are there that with Ace, they know his foolishness, so he'll go pretend to cry, drop us off, and then he's done. So it's really been cool. It's cool to step back and do that type of environment. Um, it's just cool. I don't know. Going to church it's different from actually going as an attendee versus being. I was on staff with a church, a few churches. Actually, being in ministry for a long time, it's just so different. I was just talking to Brad today where we are at church that they were showing us the Easter times. And that was the first thought. I was like, do you remember having to do every single service? And we had to do sunrise baptism on top of that. Like, it's so crazy. And it's just the experience. The experience is just totally different. So it's been cool.
Yeah, it's been good. It's definitely a lot of learning through all those experiences, and now experiencing it on the other side is really cool. But to transition that, I mean, there's a lot of other things going on in our lives, and we've been kind of on a lifestyle change.
Thanks to Broadway.
Well, why is it thanks to me?
Because you're the one who started. I think. Well, how did we even start it? It was like was it like an Instagram reel that you sent me?
It was an Instagram thing. I mean, different things have been going around. I think one of the biggest things that kind of came out was like Skittles with their like titanium dioxide or some metal.
We started with the dyes.
Yeah.
We started with the whole thing about the red dye 40 in food.
Yeah, red 40.
Yeah, and then that started a whole rabbit hole. At least for me. Like,
yeah, I mean, I yeah, you went down a lot faster than I did.
Yeah.
But my whole reasoning is, we're young, but time is, always going. And and we have our kids, and we want to be able to be around for our kids and be able to keep up with our kids and just have a healthy whole lifestyle, and being able to just live in a way where we don't let these temporary physical bodies hold us back, and we don't want to come across anything that doesn't need to exist because of this simple fact of just either lack of knowledge or just doing things that we used to do now, but the way we used to do it didn't matter back then because for example, foods were made differently back then, different ingredients. Now money's a big factor in the way things are made and what ingredients are used. So I mean, we won't take you guys down that huge rabbit hole, but
it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, but definitely we've changed a lot of things that we're doing,
Yeah. I think not help, but like the real catalyst for it is like every time you see me when I'm like pregnant with one I was pregnant with one of the kids. It wasn't I mean, I love I don't think I'm crazy. I love being pregnant. I do. With both boys though, there is I don't want to say issue.
Health factors.
There was just really big health factors with Ace. It was a lot of my gallbladder issues. Never experienced gallbladder pain. Didn't even know what it was. Never experienced it. Got pregnant with Ace. And I think it was we were halfway through, 20 or 21 weeks through it, I was experiencing terrible pain in and out of the ER to find out that I was having gallbladder flare-ups and it needed to be surgically removed. So that happened, and then we're like, okay, after that happened, our next pregnancy is going to be easy peasy because I was in pain with that one. It's going to be easy. That got shut down really quick because at 10 weeks, I ended up being diagnosed with gestational diabetes to the point where I had to be on insulin. What was like once a day, but I had to test my blood 4 times a day. Never having sugar issues, none of that. So Brad was always
blood pressure.
Everything was great.
Entire life.
And I just always remember you saying, even during, you're like, we got to get healthy. We got to get healthy. We got to get healthy. I don't want you to go through this for our next child. Our next child, okay? I think that was like really for you at the catalyst of like, let's figure out like little different changes we can make it. That
Yeah.
one post, and I did go down a rabbit hole. Y'all,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole, I promise. But there is so much junk consumed on a daily basis that we shouldn't be, that we
Yeah.
shouldn't be
The
putting
way
in our bodies. And I'm gonna leave it at that. It's mind blowing though. It's
it's
absolutely mind blowing.
it's a slow drip poison, essentially.
Yeah, it's absolutely mind blowing. Where you're like, but why? Like I ask that all the time. Like, but why?
Yeah.
What? Why? Why? What's the point of it? But that's a whole rabbit hole. That'll probably
Yeah.
have to be a different podcast. But
Yeah, definitely a different one. And if you guys are really curious about it, feel free to always message us,
mhm,
Instagram, text, whatever. Hit us up in the comments below. Let us know because we've come across a lot of information. And like we said, we've made a
and we do
lot.
share it. We
Oh
share
yeah.
whatever we find. We share it like on Instagram or on a story, and
Yeah.
I put a few things up there that we were doing already. So
Yeah. So
that's fun.
yeah, so that's another update in our lives. Do you want to share anything about your garden at all?
Yes, I was gonna say that. It's like, oh, if you've
You
been
say
following
you
me,
talk too much, huh?
I know. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I tried. This is what my third try at a garden. I think, bless you, babe.
Thank you.
I think, I think we're gonna be able to have a full garden this time. It's so hard. People, you see these things, they make it look so easy. It is not easy at all. It's so crazy. But so right now we have 19. We have 19 or 20 grow bags. So grow bags is literally fabric pots. No, fabric pots. And we have 20 of those going right now with just different things. And I'm super excited about that. I don't know. I don't know why gardening has been such a thing, for these last few years. But I have a dream. I want my garden. Like I just want my house just to be filled with flowers and vegetables and all. So it's so country,
Yeah.
country. But I'm
You
super
know what
excited
that
about
means
that.
for me though.
Yes, Brad does all the hard labor. So far, he's built me 2 garden beds, and they look beautiful. I haven't filled them yet because I'm just a little bit more hesitant with, like just rushing into it because I'm telling you, it's really difficult. The first time, it had to be luck because that was it. But the first time we got cucumbers, and I think
Yeah.
that was like our favorite thing that we were eating was cucumbers, and they were just we had cucumbers for it was crazy.
And they tasted so
Oh,
different than store bought.
so crazy. And I think that's
So
what was like that's my thing. I'm like, I want to know what it really is supposed to taste like. Like the cucumbers, y'all, you could just like that and be so delicious. It was crazy. I gave some to my mom. I even gave some to some people at church, and it was just so different. So
yeah.
right now I got like 7 or 8 tomato plants growing. I got lettuce, which you can grow lettuce in the ones that you buy this. Anyway, lettuce. I got tomatoes, basil, sweet peas,
Mhm.
cucumber, a random watermelon. Anyway, but yeah, I'm super excited about that. I'm gonna try and grow some flowers. I finally convinced Brad to let me grow some flowers because I want to grow pretty flowers. Like
My
I'm not a
saying
super
is,
girly girl, but flowers, I
yeah.
can't take care of them, and Brad buys them for me, so he's still buying them for me. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
try and grow my own.
Yeah. I just say if I can't eat it, I don't want it.
I'll throw a flower in your tea or something.
Oh, okay.
Make it look pretty. Yeah. So that's been a thing. It's definitely the garden. It's fun. We've been busy,
hmm Yeah.
pretty busy. Yeah. What else, babe?
Well, our diet changes, the garden, diet, lifestyle, garden, dedication. We will be getting back to the book, so don't worry. We just wanted to make sure we put out a video with you, for you guys, and just kind of reconnect, make you know that we're still here.
Yeah, we are still here.
We're always gonna be here, and try to be as consistent as we can. Just with everything going on. I mean, I don't know if you want to move over and show behind you at all. That was another big change for you.
Yeah, we what did I call it? We feng shuied.
So silly. We don't do that, by the way.
No, we don't. But I call it that because it just
calls it that.
feels.
We don't even.
It just feels different. So if you know me, and this will probably be a book thing too. If you know me, I am a go with the flow, type of person.
She's the free spirit.
Yeah, there. Thank you. Me and Mess, we're close. Okay, Messes they don't bother me. I'm home 24/7, with the boys. And Ace is gonna be 3 years old. He is a full blown toddler. Like, go play, go do do whatever, mom. Just play, go entertain yourself. Our house sometimes would look. I would. For me, it would be like, oh, there's toys everywhere. That's okay. It's kind of a happy home.
It's being used.
It's being used. We live here. Brad, on the other hand, Brad's not a neat freak, but Brad can get overwhelmed by stuff everywhere. Like he won't be able to sit and eat dinner comfortably, or he won't be able to just chill. He won't be able to do any of it. He has to, if there's something on the floor, I won't say one thing because it's not out of control. But if there's multiple things on the floor, he's like, no, I gotta clean this up first. So that was one of the things. Yeah,
it's not even crazy too. I just need it out of sight. I don't even care if you throw it in the garage or stuff it in a closet for now until we get to it. But just let the space that we're in feel nice and clear.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy OCD.
I did think.
No, I know that, but I'm just reiterating to really get the point across.
Yeah.
I don't need it put away. I just need it, out of sight.
Out of sight.
Yeah.
And it was one of our things where it was one of our things where me and him, I want to say, we would have some discussion, energized discussions about, because I viewed it one way and he viewed it another way, the pink and blue glasses, thing. And I would try to explain my hardest, but for me, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. We each had our I guess our defensive of why we can't see eye to eye. For me, it was well, you're asking to do one more thing. I'm here, all day with the boys. I'm making sure you eat, I eat, they eat. I had all my lists, and he was and for him, he's well, let me try and make it easier. Just clean up after yourself. And for me, it was such a hard.
It was adding that extra thing.
It was adding it was well, just, for me in my head, I'm you're just adding something else, because then you're telling me that was my thing. Before I sit down and eat, you're telling me I have to go and pick up after myself. Well, then my food is going to get cold, and I already eat my food cold because I have to make sure that I always go on a rant. And now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds ridiculous. But that's just in the moment how I was feeling. It was I'm here all day with them, and to me, it just sounded you're adding something else onto my long list of to do. And for him, it's he's not trying to do that. He's trying to help me think of solutions to make sure that I don't have this long list of things to do, even when it's impeding on my my personal time. So we were going back and forth for a little bit, right? Because
if you add up the time, it'll probably add up to about a week at least.
No, baby, longer.
Oh, well, longer. I was talking about recent. Oh,
okay. No, I'm saying
at least 1 year of our marriage.
Yeah. It's been it's been a thing, and we were always we would never get like super angry at each other. We would sit down, have a conversation, and it always has been, we end the conversation, well, we disagree. We agree to disagree. And we'll figure out a way.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe it was why we came to a resolution. We sat down and he brought up, he's like, this is, you're saying from your perspective, your pink glasses, because that's his whole thing now, y'all. Pink glasses. So you're seeing it through your pink glasses, or blue pink glasses. When I'm not understanding, or I'm just so stuck in seeing my own, perspective. So, yeah, I say we feng shui the house because since I would say since our last conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and since we changed it up a little bit, I have been better.
Oh, she's been amazing. I'm not sure she recognizes herself sometimes.
It's just so crazy. It's just crazy how you can, I'm sure Brad sounded like a broken record, saying it over and over and over again. And for me, I was like, just not, not grasping it and just trying to figure out, like, oh, I don't understand what you're saying. What do you mean? I get it now. And I think it has to do with, I tell him all the time, he thinks I'm joking. It has to do with how the house is. It's just, I don't know. It's flowy.
So I don't know
Tell
if you
me,
guys know.
you guys tell me if you agree with me. Does how your house is set up, it makes it easier to clean. It makes it easier to keep up with.
Yeah, we'll explain to them what we did. So
Mhm.
behind Sienna, there was our dining room. So
Which was never used, by the way, like ever. It was like a storage table.
right, and then you can explain the rest. Let me take a picture and I'll show them what.
Okay, yeah. So behind me was our dining room. We had bought a brand new dining set and everything. Never used it. I think we probably used it maybe a handful of times, or when we had company over. So we never really used our dining room table. We have Ace's. Ace has his own playroom. He has his playroom over there in our kitchen area. Yeah. He had a playroom, and we have family that come. It's an hour and a half. Yeah. An hour and a half for my parents, and then it's 2 hours.
Close to 2 hours for mine, yeah.
Close to 2 hours for our parents. So when they come up, they usually they come. My parents, they just spend the weekend here. My dad does not like driving; he hates it. So when they come up, they come and they spend the night here for the weekend. His parents, when they come up, they sometimes spend the night. So we really never had a space. When they would come up, we'll move like Ace's play stuff out of the way, and we'll put a air mattress, and there you go. So Brad randomly came up with the idea, like, why don't we? Hold on, let it focus. Yeah, there we go.
And there's reality. If you can see the mess, yes, there is mess because
laundry.
It just happens.
We all agree, laundry from hell. But anyway, so yeah, now that's how the place looks. We moved our dining room from behind me, and we moved it right there into our living room. And we have our little living room, our kitchen, and that room that's over that you see in the back. Well, right now we're using it as Ace's playroom, but we're gonna turn that into a guest room, just because we want when our families come up, we want them to have, like a home, a home away from home, especially since they're coming up and they're spending time with us. When I say us, I really mean Ace, because our son has this, I don't know, obsession, healthy obsession, but obsession with his family.
He loves them.
He adores them. Like adores them. It's
he will abandon us for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Only for a little bit, because there's times where he does want to come home.
Yeah.
But he adores them. So we're trying to figure out a way to make it, more comfortable for them, so they could come over more often and not be uncomfortable. So Brad randomly said, he's like, why don't we move the dining room table into the living room? And I was like, what? I'm a visual person. There's times I'm just like, I don't see it. And then I think
that's my designer brain.
Yeah. But then I think I was like, why don't we move the dining room table into the living room? He's like, does this sound better coming out of here? York mouth or something. And so yeah, we did that, and I don't know. So now this is gonna be Ace's like play area um here, which feels so much better. You know, we get to annoy Brad all day now because we're gonna be right here, and then Brad obviously works in this office. Um, and now we're gonna be able to have that space for, you know, when our family comes and extend the weekend here. But it's been great. I love it. I look at it all the time, like I love this. Good idea, babe. Good
Yeah, she
idea.
she she upkeeps it way more than she would have if it was set up the other way. Like the
I don't know what
table
it is.
is clean, there's no junk on it. When it was behind her in the dining room area, it was
I'm sure
full
you
of
guys had to see it in the previous video, y'all. Like there was like piles of books. I mean, now well, you can't see them. Now they're on the floor here because I need to get rid of them. Um, but yeah, it was just
it was a junk table. It
yeah.
it
Oh, there
wasn't
go
a
the
dining
pile of
table.
books. Oh, it's in your thing. Let me see if I can find my.
Oh yeah, behind me over there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like little changes here and there.
Yeah, makes
Using the
huge
example,
differences.
using the book. The book did. The book is help. You know, helping us.
Yeah, it helps give us grounds on how to explain things and how not to blame each other for our own like lack or shortcomings or disability to not be able to open up to the idea that
Mm-hmm.
ours is not just the only idea that
Yeah,
exists. You know,
yeah.
there's possible other ideas that might help,
Mm-hmm.
might work. Even if it doesn't make sense to us in the beginning, might take
Yeah,
a whole year of marriage to figure it out, but it'll get figured out.
it will get there. Yeah.
So
So yeah, it's been good. It's been great. Life has been good. It's just been busy. It's
yeah,
been super busy. While Brad is here at work, you know, during the week, Ace keeps me busy. You know, and
he
I
sure
never,
does.
he does, and he loves being out. You know, he loves being
Wonder
out, and I
why.
don't ever. I like going out too, but but so I knew when I was gonna become a stay at home mom, I didn't just want to stay home. Like I wanted to have the freedom to go and do go to Disney and whatever. But you know, go and go and do things like out of our home. So now Ace is like at an age where it's definitely a lot easier. Um, but at the same time, it's more difficult because once I introduced him to certain things, now it's like a expectation. Like we do library days, which if you guys you're stay at home, or even if you're not stay at home, if you guys do not take your kids, your toddlers, to toddler time at the library, because I want to say like I think Broward County does it, West Palm Beach County does it, and then Fairfield, they obviously do it here. It is great. It is like it's fantastic. Like Ace is not he. I think that's also what helped him get easier acclimated at church.
Hmm.
Um, because obviously it's with other people. But it's great. So we do toddler time at the library twice a week. Um, we go to the playground where there's other kids. So it's just like getting it. It's busy. It's just
Hmm.
busy stuff. Because I just don't want him to be stuck, you know, stuck at home or um us be the only people that he's ever around. I don't want
Yeah,
to, you know, do that to him. So it's been great though.
yeah, it's helped
Yeah.
him out a lot. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And, yeah, I think we have to, for me at least, I have to come up with a schedule. A schedule, because sometimes, you know, you want to do everything and you feel like there's never enough time in the day. And then by the time that you get to what you want to do, then you realize that it's time to go to bed. It's time to go to bed. Why don't we talk about how you've been, Brad is back into music, y'all.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What do you
So
mean? Oh, yeah, that's been taking up all of your time. All of it.
yeah. So yeah, been doing that now. Just want to get back into the groove of making music. It's been a few years since I've done anything musical
Mhm.
since, you know, church boy days, you know. But yeah, it's good, you know, just finding my own sound and working on the craft and hopefully put out some music, you know, within hopefully maybe, you know, 3, 4 months, maybe 6 months, it depends, you know. I'm not a singer, so finding voices is, you know, always a challenge. Maybe I'll throw some auto tune on there, you know, a little Post Malone style or something.
Really? Oh my gosh, you guys, I do not want to hear that. Because Brad
Why you
frequently,
hating, bro?
I'm not hating, I'm just saying, like, so there's times where he has to listen to it out loud for it to make sense. And I try to be the best supportive wife that I can, but there's times I'm like, bruh, throw the headphones on. I've listened to that same sequence like 20 times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it takes. It takes,
It
you
does,
know,
it does. I try to be supportive, but I'm like, there's a time I'm like,
and that's why I got those that you're
yeah, oh,
wearing.
the ones that I'm wearing, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that to say, just a reminder, like, y'all, there's time to find like hobbies and things
Mm.
that bring you joy. Like, don't get so consumed with your day to day living or consumed with um, not having it all right now, or being ready to start, or not having everything, to begin. Start somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Now's always the best time.
Yeah. I think
Start
one thing
now.
that's important, that's been a thing for Brad and I, not only in our marriage, but as parents too, is not losing our sense of self,
Hmm.
within the relationship. Before the boys came along, um, I feel like we were still individuals. We were, obviously in a relationship, but we still had our
Hmm.
own sense of self, like we did, we enjoyed doing different things, whether it was together or separately, and then, as we became parents, it's been that same thing. Like, it was always a reminder, like, yes, we are, you know, husband or wife. Now we're mom and dad, but remembering that we're also Brad and we're also Sienna at the same time. I think that's helped us get through some pretty tough times, tough moments, and things when get like just too much. Because in life there's different seasons for everything. Sometimes you feel you have time for everything, and there's other times you feel like you have time for nothing. Um, I think when we put that into practice, just finding out what sparks that happiness and that joy in us, and we get to work on that. For me, it's the gardening. For me, it's the memory journaling, and just right now it's the rabbit hole that I'm that I in. Um, it helped me get through overwhelming moments where
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't have a minute to myself today, or I'm just like, what day of the week is it? Because I don't remember, because I have Ace who's always, constantly on me. The baby who sometimes gets super clingy, and just making sure other things are done. I think having established that time where it's just for me, and I can recognize when it is. I'm like, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm gonna need to come step in because I need a moment to myself. I think moments like that um, prepare prepare us for those overwhelming moments. If that
Hmm.
makes sense. So all I have to say, it's never too late. Start somewhere. If you have something that you've been wanting to do, just do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Don't just
Yeah, because there's never going to be the right time. So just start now. And even if it's something that requires skill, just do it. Do it anyway. And you'll learn the skill and you'll become good
as you
at it.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. And if it requires you putting yourself in front of people and doing it, just know they will see from where you started to where you've gotten. They'll see the progress, and people are always supportive of the journey and always want to be a part of it. So do it. Start now.
Yeah. That was my little for the day.
Yeah. A
That's
little Little encouragement, little
Yeah, yeah. And, and even things like, like this, doing this podcast. Yeah, the baby was giving us such a hard time to go to sleep. Ace is Ace. He always wants to be all up in it.
he's
His
demanding now.
yeah, he is so demanding now,
Couldn't
and
even
it's
walk in
so
the
funny.
room with my
Oh,
Crocs
yes,
on.
tell them, babe.
So he woke up. He was, I guess, whining about something. And so I go over there to see. I'm like, okay, well, Sienna sent me. She's like, your turn. Go over there. And I was like, okay. So I walk over there and I have, my Crocs on and I'm checking on him. I'm like, hey, what's up? What's going on, Papa? And he's saying something I couldn't really understand what he was saying at the moment because I guess he's still like sleepy. And so I walk in the room going to, tuck him in. He goes, shoes off? Shoes off? And I'm like, what's this guy talking about? He then turns around to escort me out of the room to tell me to take my shoes off. And then we can go back in the room and then I can tuck him in and, tell him goodnight or whatever. So, yeah, he wouldn't have
Don't
shoes in
dirty
his
his room,
room.
bro. Don't dirty his room.
Oh my gosh. It
It's
was so funny.
character.
Yeah.
He's such a character.
That's what happens when you mesh the two of us and create an offspring.
Oh my gosh, he's such a character. He's such a joy. It's so
Yeah,
funny. He
it
gets
is.
on my nerves sometimes. Do not get me wrong. But then there's just moments I'm like,
Yeah.
this is everything.
Yep.
Yeah, he's my little Montessori toddler in training. Because that's another rabbit hole. We're not going to go there because I'm still at the tippy top of it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think that's it today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Just catching up, having a little conversation. We'll do some more. I think we could do more of these in between.
Yeah, for sure.
If you guys ever want to talk to us about something or have a question for us or just a topic, our advice on something, we can definitely go there and
Or if
put
you ever
that
want
out.
to, yeah, if you ever want to be a guest on here, definitely love to have you.
Oh yeah.
So
Just know. Yes, just know it's random time.
Oh yeah.
Right now it's Sunday night at 10:51 p.m.
Right. So you know those parent life how it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah.
Then if you're young, then easy. Yeah,
Young
young
and
couple. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, sorry, I don't miss that time in my life. I don't. Oh, it's so exhausting. It's different type of exhausting. Anyway, it's a
Definitely.
different story. It's a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, we enjoyed having this little conversation with you guys.
Definitely.
We will get back to the book. We will. I probably should put that on my schedule for this week to read up, catch up on it. But we're looking forward to finishing that because I want to say it is helping us do better and be better. It's like when you know better, do better kind of thing. I feel like that's what it's bringing to our realization. Even after 8 years of marriage, there's still conversations that um, it helps us have. It helps us navigate through that. Not that we wouldn't have before, but it's just different circumstances. When they bring up scenarios in the book, when I'm reading a scenario, I'm like, I'll ask Brad, like, no, what would you do? Or I would even ask him, like, what would you think I would do? Because there's just different perspective, how
Yeah.
I think I would handle it versus how he thinks I would handle it. And then, we talk through it from there. So if not for nothing, that's definitely been a cool thing. Is just to hear each other's opinions and all that on the book. So we'll definitely get back to it because I like that. I like hearing Brad's perspective because it's totally different perspective than mine. Totally different perspective than mine. And yeah, it's just cool. It's a great conversation starter, if anything. So we can stop talking about how amazingly cool our kids are.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in again. We love you guys. We love having you guys do the YouTube thing, and we'll catch you in the next one.
All right, love you guys. Peace out.